Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. I hope that everybody had a great work week. We finally made it to the last day, which is great. Thank the Lord. Y'all, so I'm here with a recap. Um, I don't even know where to start because the last few days have been quite interesting. Very interesting. Now, I did make a couple of notations so that I can kind of have some bullet points for y'all. I named this Gobs of Content and Humble Pie. I named it Gobs of Content because I actually ended up red balling through Jay Wilson's live last night. Well, it was from last night, but I red balled through it like around midnight. And Dragons was on there talking about how she helped make Lemon gobs and gobs of money. I'm not sure if that's like a Chicago thing because I think the Dragons from Chicago originally, or maybe it's a Miami thing, but Dragon spoke about how she made Lemon gobs and gobs of money. And basically, the nerve of Lemon to be trying to put her on blast because she asked for $20 for a margarita, la marita, strawberryta. She said as much money as many gobs of money that she made him, she should be able to ask for a drink. But either way, let me not put the cart before the horse. Let me go ahead and get into my first notes here. So I guess I could kind of go in chronological order with what I witnessed yesterday. Yesterday, whenever I got onto this application, y'all, there was a few things going on. I noticed that YouTube cameras was live. Um, Seems that she was going off about Sean Bradley in Club Chat. But then also I ended up realizing that Just Lovely was live. Just Lovely is a proud member of Club Chat. So I tried to peek into both lives, but ultimately, because Just Lovely rarely goes live and she doesn't do very long lives, I preferred to go to her live to see what was going on because I wanted to get the content and the tea from the horse's mouth. Or either the content and the tea from Club Chat's mouth per se. So here is the thing that I have gathered that's going on. For the people who are new, Sean Bradley went to Patreon back in 2019. I know it's a lot of new people that were not aware that he had a Patreon since 2019, but he has in fact had a Patreon since 2019. So the Patreon is not new. The Patreon is actually about 6 years old at this point. 6 years old, where they have always gone over there. And what Sean calls them going over there, them going behind the gates. They do that quite regularly. Also, over there on his Patreon, he had a travel tier. You could go to the Patreon in order to get the information about the vacations and stuff that they take. That way, if you were ever interested in traveling with Sean Bradley and Club Chat to any of these exclusive destinations that we typically see them travel to, if you became a part of the Patreon tier for the travel group, then you would be able to get that type of information as far as travel goes. This is nothing new. They've had it since 2019. Now, in 2022, Sean started a podcast where he would essentially take his Patreon stuff, but then convert it into a podcast format. And I remember when the podcast was through, I think it was like through iTunes or the Apple Store or something. However, it seems that now it's at Spotify. But again, the Spotify portion of the podcast is not anything new, guys. This has been going on since 2022. So this Spotify portion is actually about 3 years old. So I just want to keep y'all in mind as far as the timeline of events, because just based on how people have been giving their commentary. Good morning, Jinx. Just based on how people have been giving their commentary, it's almost like they are upset and perturbed, like the nerve of him to have a Patreon, the nerve of him to have a Spotify podcast. But these things have been existing for several years. So with that being said, there were some controversial things that were said over there at the Spotify and the podcast. Some people were upset with the things said. I took a listen to both podcasts. I listened to them on Wednesday night. Once I saw it was a big stir about them, I didn't really hear anything that was just gonna make me angry. But that's not to say that other people. Good morning, Jinx. That's not to say that other people didn't hear things that might have made them angry. And to be honest, the more that I've seen other people do their own commentary about what was said or what was heard, the more that I'm thinking maybe this weekend I'm going to go back through it and look again. The good thing about getting the Spotify app for anybody that's interested in hearing for yourself, I would recommend getting the Spotify app. Once you get the Spotify app, you have to register, you join, and then you can go ahead and follow or subscribe to the Club Chat podcast. The good thing about listening on the app is that you have the ability to speed it up, just like we have the ability to speed up YouTube. That's what I like about the app, because then I could just put it on 2x speed. This is the reason why I was able to get through them really quickly on Wednesday night. But I'm thinking maybe because I had it on 2x speed, maybe I must have missed something, because I really don't get why everybody been upset. Either way, I went over there to Just Lovely's and they were talking about this outrage that people are having. Good morning, Sea Green. Got my iced coffee, y'all. So at Just Lovely's, they were talking about this outrage that everybody had. Now, Just Lovely, I shared her video on my community wall yesterday morning. It's definitely worth taking a gander at. That's why I shared it there. I think, to me, I just feel like some people may be so new that they don't know who is who. I'm not saying like the Rick Reeds and stuff, but I know like with YouTube cameras, I'm thinking that she was not aware that there are several club chat people who frequent my chat and her chat every morning on a day-to-day basis. But maybe because she didn't know the history, she just didn't know that they were club chat people. And so I ended up reaching out to her to let her know, like, hey, the club chat people, they are supporters of mine and yours. I said, and a lot of times they are in my chat when I redirect to your channel. Sometimes in the morning, they are there. But Just Lovely is one of those people. So I went over to her channel to listen to what she had to say. So what she was essentially saying is that Club Chat never left the beef sector, and she does not understand why there seems to be this outrage at the fact that the subscribers of Club Chat still want to have a place where they can discuss their thoughts and their views and opinions about what they see on here every day. Just Lovely says, it just seems strange and even weird. There she says it. She said it's even weird that people would expect them to actually still be supporters of multiple channels across this platform, watching the things that are going on here, but then not expecting that Sean would still provide them the platform on Patreon for them to be able to discuss their thoughts and opinions and views of what they see on here. Just Lovely says that when they go on Patreon, it's typically a Zoom setting in which they as subscribers, and she kept emphasizing it. Club Chat is full of subscribers, tons of subscribers of Sean Bradley's. So the fact that Sean Bradley opens up his Patreon every now and then to allow them the platform to discuss what is going on, many of the Club Chat people don't understand why that is. Now, don't get me wrong. There are also content creators who are over there in the club chat Zoom. But primarily when club chat and the Patreon for club chat was created, Sean created it to have a space where he could go and privately talk with his subscribers. These are the subscribers that don't click links. We see these types of subscribers every day around here where they would like to discuss and engage in stuff. They would like to talk about things without having to stay up in the chat, but they don't click links. Well, Sean ended up making a private space for them over there on his Zoom and his Patreon so that they don't have to click links, but they can still get to talk and congregate with each other. Tutty is also a club chat person who supports me heavy over here, and Tutty ended up clicking the link over there, Just Lovelies. I was getting her point of view about everything. Tutty essentially said that anything that she said on there that she would say out here in the open, she said, but in club chat, they don't always agree on who they like. Tutty said in club chat, sometimes it's even disagreements because some people like these content creator and some people like the other content creator. Even while I was over there, Tutty used me as an example. Tutty said she likes me as a content creator, but it's a few other subscribers up in club chat who don't like me as a content creator. So there is sometimes discussion about me, and people have to put they have to sometimes they debate their differences, why they like this one, why they dislike that one, blah blah blah. And she said sometimes you just have to agree to disagree and move on. But she said all this to say that they are not a unified cult like people have been describing them, because they all go and support whoever they want to go and support. They also said that just because Sean made a personal decision to leave YouTube, that does not mean that they, as adult women and grown men, had decided to leave YouTube just because Sean left. They said even though Sean left, they are still going and supporting the people that they like. And they want to be able to have a place and area to be able to sit down and mingle with each other and talk about some of the mess that they have seen. So pretty much it's just harmless is what I gathered. I clicked the link and talked to them a little bit. They said that they do have opinions about what they see out here, and they enjoy being able to speak with Sean about it. They said many of the topics that they speak about over there in the Patreon. Good morning, Asia. Good morning, Tracy. They said that most of the things that they even speak about in the Patreon come about because they done heard us content creators on YouTube talking about these things. They even said, how are they supporting us, coming to listen to our content, recaps, commentary, dance competitions, whatever, what have you. They watching us speak about these things all day. And then when they have their club chat meetings, some of the topics that we have discussed throughout the weeks or throughout the days or throughout the months might come up over there, and they will have a discussion on what they think about it, who they think is lying, who they think is telling the truth. Is this one a play? Is that one not a play? This, that, and the third. So it just seems like a whole bunch of just discussion and conversation over there. Please like the video. Thank you. And hey, Sophie, good morning. Good morning, Tracy. Tracy said, but he left, so there's no point. But his subscribers didn't leave, Tracy. His subscribers didn't leave. His Patreon is for his subbies. He created Patreon for the subbies. That's how come the subbies have been paying whatever they pay over there, because it's for them. So just because he left, that don't mean that he can't open up his Patreon and his Zoom so that his subbies could come and talk about whatever they want to talk about. That'd be just like with us with memberships. Our memberships are for the subbies. If we want to go to the membership and do a members only live to have our subbies correspond with us about what is being seen, I think that the Patreon is pretty much the same. Good morning, Hammer Tom Funk. Good morning. So Tracy said, well, if they have a comment in the chat. They do comment in the chat. Normally they up here in the chat. They here in the chat. Tracy said it just seems sneaky, as always. I think the problem with it is, Tracy, which I felt this way for a long time when it comes to the B sector. The problem is everybody expects to know everybody's each and every move, and I hate that. I get what you said, how it appears sneaky in your opinion. I understand that. The reason why I have a problem with that, though, is because I speak to people off this application. And I've heard time and time again that the fact that I have offline conversations with people related to this sector or related to YouTube, the fact that I have offline conversations, people think that that's sneaky. I don't think that that's sneaky at all. I think that's me minding my business. I think that's me communicating with whoever I see fit to communicate with. I think that's me cultivating a YouTube ship off of this application. I think that's me, building trust with someone off of this application, even though they typically frequent this application. I'm going to give you an example, Dimples. One of the very last real disagreements that I had over there at Ness before we fell out, Dimples was upset because me and Ness had an offline conversation about some money that I felt Ness owed me. And would you believe that Dimples felt some type of way, ran through here trying to sow division like what she typically does, ran through here talking about how me and Ness was sneaky. We had the offline conversation, blah, blah, blah. Why we ain't talk about the money in front of y'all? Why did we need to talk about the money that was owed in front of y'all? Why did that need to be something that needs to be discussed in front of y'all? Dimples was mad that Ness gave me the money, and I mentioned to my supporters that, yes, Ness repaid me, so now the debt is squashed, so everything is fine. That's what I said back then. So then Dimples took that I said to my members in my members live, and she ran it over to Ness, tried to make Ness think that I was dragging her about the damn money that Ness paid me back. But that's because Dimples felt like she should be privy to an offline conversation. And no, you're not privy to every damn conversation that somebody has as a content creator. You do not get the right to be privy to every offline conversation that I have with any of my supporters or my subbies. You do not get the right to invade any of my private conversations or messages or whatever I decide to do with my members. No. But it seems that for some reason, people feel entitled to that here on this application, Tracy. And that's the reason why it feels sneaky to some people. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. Even like, I'm trying to think one of your best, Tracy, let's say, I'm just throwing this out here as an example. And good morning to Olivia. Good morning to ODS. Good morning to Michelle. Good morning to Youngest. Jinx said, too many people don't understand the difference between responding instead of reacting. Yes, I'm going to use this as an example for Tracy. Tracy, let's just say hypothetically. Good morning, Sally, mistaken. Hypothetically, Tracy, you actually know who Vibrant Love is. This is just a hypothetical. I know that Vibrant is one of your moderators over there. Most of us only know of Vibrant as a very nice and kind moderator, but primarily Vibrant is a troll because she's never clicked the link. All she does is chat. All she does is moderate. But she's a very kind troll, but she's still considered a troll to a certain degree. Now, would you think it was fair that I would say that you were being sneaky if you actually had behind the scenes conversation with Vibrant Lowell? Or maybe you even knew how Vibrant Lowell looked in real life. Or maybe Vibrant Lowell trusted you enough to email you and talk to you more about her real life, or or about maybe her kids, or what she did this weekend, or what she got planned to do this weekend, what she did for Memorial Day, this and the third. If you had that type of YouTube ship with Vibrant Lowell, that's not my business. What y'all talked about. How Vibrant Lowell look. If she ever had showed you how she looked, it's not my business, Tracy. Because even though I know Vibrant on this application, I also know that Vibrant is your moderator. So y'all probably have a closer connection and correspondence than I ever would have with Vibrant. Sometimes you do need to have private interactions with the people who support you or your moderators off of here. And I believe that over there at the club chat Zooms, that's what Sean is doing, still keeping in touch with his audience. So there's that. That's what I gathered when I got over there and I was on the link with Just Lovely and Queen V Tut. They just used that as a space for them to talk about what they saw. So then I went to YouTube Cameras, checked her replay. YouTube Cameras was upset because YouTube Cameras felt like it was sneaky. She felt like it was lurking. And she also felt like it was somewhat attention seeking from Sean Bradley. But even if Sean Bradley got rid of his channel, and this is one thing that they said over there at Just Lovely. They said just because Sean got rid of his channel, that means that he's no longer a content creator. But that will never stop him from being a subscriber. Which is facts. You can delete your channel and say, I'm never making content anymore. I'm no longer going to be a content creator. Delete your channel and go on about your business. But that don't mean that you have to stop being a subscriber. That don't mean that you have to stop peeking in to see what's going on with people. That don't mean that. And the crazy thing about it, why I think people got it messed up, is because even once VS came back on here, while VS was gone, everybody swore up and down. Now, I wasn't one of the people that swore this because I didn't believe that she would try to get herself in trouble. But back then when VS was off of here, everybody swore up and down that VS was still peeking up in here on the troll page. For the life of me, I didn't understand why anybody would do anything like that just to peek in, because it ain't that serious. It's not that serious. But many people across the B sector said that she was still lurking this and still lurking that. So if y'all tell me that while VS was gone for 3 years, y'all claim that she was still looking around as a subby and no longer a content creator, then why Sean can't still be looking as a subby and not a content creator? He just got to disappear completely, y'all. Disappear completely. But either way, so there was that. So I got both sides of the scenario from that, and I did finish looking at YouTube cameras. I just wanted YouTube cameras to know that, yes, some of the subbies that are out and about here are also club chat people, and she might not even have any clue that they are club chat. I wanted to let her know that because I don't want her to offend any supporters or any subbies. I don't want her to turn off any supporters or any subbies. I don't want the club chat subbies to feel like they have to make a choice or choose a side or all this kind of stuff. That's not the thing that I want. For YouTube cameras, for me, for any of y'all, to be honest. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, whether Sean is here or not, the club chat people, if they want to look on here and see what in the hell we doing or what in the hell we talking about, as grown people, they have every right to do that. And if they decide to pick up their phone call and do a phone conversation with each other, they can. Hell, if they decide to, because Leo sometimes will host a Zoom from time to time, if you're one of her members. So are you telling me that it's okay that they can talk and congregate with each other on Leo's Zoom because Leo is still a content creator, but they can't congregate on Sean's Zoom because Sean is no longer a content creator? Is that what y'all saying? Now y'all saying that if Leo decided, hey, well, I'll go ahead and let me just start hosting a Zoom so that the subbies of Club Chat and the elements can come over here and we can talk about what we saw, then would y'all accept the conversations as okay because Leo is still a content creator and Sean ain't? I mean, it really just don't make sense. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But some of the stuff, it just don't make sense to me. Jinx said, but J.Dunn, the environment doesn't support that. In the world of social media, the hunger to know all is what's present, and the unknowns are the attraction. And good morning, Shauna. Good morning to Dreamy Jeannie. Good morning to Michelle. Jinx said, factor in the Mad Day expose, then boom, you have happy subbies, and the streets are fed. And Gigi said, good morning, J.Dunn in chat. Oh, Rick Reed. Rick Reed said, good morning, J.Dunn. I don't mind that they are talking, but if it's about beef sector and I hear it, I might do content on it and they shouldn't mind. Oh, not, and that's true. That's true. I will say it got to go both ways. Because when I was on Just Lovely's, you know, they want to have the freedom to be able to discuss whatever they might have saw, you know, on YouTube or what they heard us talking about. They want to have the freedom to be able to talk about it in the Zooms on the Patreon. And it does have to go both ways. You can talk about it on the Zoom and on the Patreon, but then if somebody wants to respond to it, then like what Rick Reed is saying, they do have the right to, especially if your name came up. And that's what YouTube cameras was saying, that her name came up. And that's the reason why she did her commentary. Even Face Yaya did a video early this morning. And I guess Face Yaya name came up. Something about the lupus. Lady Nika had a live. I didn't get to catch that live, but I saw the title of it, and it seemed like Lady Nika had an issue because her name came up. If you hear the Spotify or the podcast and your name come up, now I definitely believe that everybody has a right to respond. I guess my biggest issue is that I guess for me, I know of at least, I would say at least 5 or 6 people that are regulars over here that support my channel. At least 5 or 6 of them are hands down Club Chat people. And I guess from my perspective, I thought everybody knew that they were Club Chat people. And I thought everybody knew that they were still here supporting everybody else, even though Sean was not on here. I assumed that everybody knew who was who on here. But maybe that wasn't the case. Rick Reed said, they do content on us, so we do content on them. No, that's an even swap. Sophie said, that's why I don't make up. I don't care who it is. The rapture awaits. Boss Lady Wright said, it's just that SB is a sneaky, snaky person. And then Jinx said, they responded because what was said about them was misinformation. No, I get it. Because y'all already know, I don't like for people to lie on me. Anytime somebody done came on here and said a lie or lied on me about something, y'all know I'm coming to respond. So that's why I can't even be mad at people responding. I was just covering that part because when I woke up yesterday morning, the 2 lives that I went to was centered around that. And so that was the first bullet point or note that I had for my commentary for y'all this morning about this whole Club Chat thing. That's another reason why I called this gobs of content, because it really was a lot of content around. I know people like to think that there was no content at all because Ness channel is gone, but that's not true, because it seemed like everybody had talking points about this Zoom and what they heard. And it was so crazy because I listened to the 2 Spotify's. I didn't think it was so outrageous. But maybe I didn't think it was so outrageous because I didn't hear anything too negative about me. I heard one lady mention my name up in there. And what she mentioned my name about? I'm trying to think. Oh, about the flagging wars. Now, in one of them, I did hear them talking about the flag and the striking war. And it was some lady that I don't even know who it is. It's like, I think Sean was like, people should not be letting people know how many strikes they have on their channel, because if you come out here and let people know how many strikes you already got on your channel, then that's gonna make you an even bigger target. And then the lady was like, yeah, and like J.Dunn always posting when she done struck somebody or something like that, the lady said. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with me posting my receipt, because I keep my receipts. I don't know what the problem is with me posting it, but either way, that lady was entitled to her opinion. I wasn't offended by it, but that's like really one of the only times that I can remember that I heard her, somebody say my name on there. So now let me move on to my next point. Let me make sure that I've got all the comments first. Jinx said, why YouTube cameras were said to have been with 88 baby daddy, and the word was it was Ness. And of course, the rumors about YTC and DG. Well, see, now that's the thing with YouTube cameras and what she got going on. Y'all know I never discussed that. For one, I wasn't even a part of any sector that YouTube cameras was in when any of that went down. For number two, I would be a hypocrite if I tried to criticize her for whatever she might have had entanglement from this application, because y'all know I've had many entanglements off this application. So I don't even talk about that. Now, as far as 88 baby daddy, I had always heard about the whole Ness thing. And I spoke about it once before in the commentary. But no, there was no, I never heard anything about YouTube cameras and the captain, but I did hear about Ness and the captain, because the captain ended up moving to Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, because either the captain got a new girlfriend or a wife that lived in Seattle. And so he ended up moving to Seattle, and him and Ness ended up linking up from what I was told. And then I've heard mixed things about what happened once they linked up. Jinx said, Yaya and Shauna, I see people speaking to you, but for whatever reason, the whole block situation, I can't see nothing you type. I only see people saying something to you. So this is another one of the reasons why sometimes you feel like I'm looking over your comment. I'm not looking over your comment. I just don't see the comment at all. The only reason why I know that you up in here is because I see Michelle just put, I have family members in Ohio at Shauna. If Michelle didn't put that, I wouldn't even know you were in here, because I can't see you. So I just want that to be known, so you don't think I'm just skipping over your stuff and being shady. So Jinx said, Yaya and Lady Nika, they said was misusing perks because of they're having lupus, and the lady spoke incorrectly about it. And then Soapy said, when someone showed me their ass, baby, I believe it. Rick said, listen to the May 2nd one. Okay, the May 2nd one. Okay. And you know something? I didn't listen to the May 2nd one. I didn't. I assumed that the May 2nd one was nothing. I listened to the last two. And I think the last two had to have been made within like the last week. But I didn't go all the way back to May 2nd at all, Rick. So maybe that's how come I'm probably confused why so many people are upset. Because the May 2nd one I did not listen to, because I just assumed that was so far back that it wasn't anything relevant in that one. But I'll make sure that I take a listen to that one later on today. Good morning, Miami Popo. So yeah, I'll listen to that one today. But so yeah, now there has been a lot of questions about if Club Chat was assisting this and all of this. Yeah, in my opinion, I don't feel like they are. And I think that's only because, like I said, there are a handful of Club Chat people that I know that heavily support me over here. I know that they have been up in my lives even during this whole flagging situation that was going on. Hell, a good majority of them were in my membership during my membership lives when this whole flagging war started, and my channel was being attacked over there at the Dunn Daughter channel. So many of them actually know the ins and out of what's going on, and not necessarily hearsay. So for the life of me, it's hard for me to say that all of the Club Chat people are trying to help Ness and stuff, because I don't know, I disagree. Not only that, but I posted a receipt yesterday where Ness was calling them bumpkins. Ness was calling them bumpkins, and then share a video from the Club Chat Travels channel. Now some people say that Ness didn't mean it like that, but of course it's her minions that's saying that. But if she didn't mean it like that, then maybe she needs to go back to the drawing board when she actually tries to type out a caption for something that she shares, because it sure was her sharing them and saying bumpkins wasting their golden years on YouTube. That's what she said. With not a punctuation in sight, not a period, not a comma, not a colon, not a semicolon, not a lick punctuation in sight. For that reason, people are saying that people misunderstood her pose. That's not what she meant. Why, how in the hell would somebody know what she actually mean when she ain't even put no punctuation nowhere up in here? No, I took from it what I took from it from that long ass run on sentence that she had up there that still didn't have a punctuation at the end. Jinx said, Shauna said she understands and she knows you're not ignoring her. Okay, good. So Rick said, I see what you're saying, but don't forget Vegas and them all being there together. Okay, I'm gonna go to that May 2nd. Because Rick, I'm telling you, I thought I had did all my research. I didn't know that the May 2nd one was about it too. I thought it was just the last two. So I'm gonna go to that May 2nd one and listen to that one today. Okay, so now let me go on. But yeah, I don't think that they helping her. Now I will say that the last Spotify, just because Sean heard people saying that he was helping Ness, he did give Ness some tips for using Patreon and some tips to get around the Patreon. Because I guess when Ness first set it up, she had all of her numbers out in the open where you could see how many members she had and how much she was making. All of that was public initially. So I think Sean gave her a tip about how to set it up to make that private. I think he also was mentioning to her about how he got the Zoom so that he can have panels in the Patreon. He gave her them types of tips as far as working in that way. But that's the most that I heard him say. Jinx said, now where am I taking my nose errors to heal the May 2nd one? Spotify. You got to get the Spotify application. You got to get the Spotify application, Jinx. And when you go with Spotify, it'll let you search for music artists, or you can search for podcasts. Just type in Club Chat in the search. And 9 times out of 10, once you type it, you should see the Club Chat one come up because it's a picture of Sean Bradley. You can see his face, his head, and then you can go from there. So then you could catch up on all of them. I'm like, now we over here sneaking to go look at the person's Spotify. But like I said, I had known this Spotify existed, and I would listen to these things. But I heavily listened to the podcast over there probably about a year ago, y'all. It had to have been a year ago that I was listening to the podcast the most. And specifically, I was tuning in over there because that was during the time where I had all this litigation from, some random woman that I ain't never even met before a day in my life. And I would tune in over there during that particular time because I was curious to know what discussions and stuff was happening over there and what the points of view were, what the points of views were with the people over there. Because remember, it was a whole WhatsApp text thread and all this kind of stuff that ended up coming out. Sean was so Joyce gave the WhatsApp to Kimmy. Kimmy gave it to Sean. Sean gave me the WhatsApp to assist me with the litigation at that particular time. So I would tune in over there around that time just to hear the discussions and stuff that was going on about it because Sean had assisted me in that way. But then once I was past that part of my life, y'all, I stopped peeking over there until now that people done started talking about it. And now it's a big talking point once again. So yeah, in my opinion, I don't think that they helping her. I think that Sean gave her some tips about Patreon. He didn't have to do it, but he did. I will say that as far as the flag wars, essentially, I just hear them saying that that everybody on here need to be worried about protecting their channels. That was the moral of the story that I got from what I listened to. Like, stop worrying about what club chat doing back here. Stop worrying about what they talk about. Y'all need to be worried about protecting y'all channels, because we already see the channels going left and right. Oh, Jinx said, I literally followed every live after Rick Reed's live. I'm giving my thanks to the ruler. Child, he damn near broke the internet with his commentary. And then Michelle said, I do that every morning, afternoon, and night. I didn't say worship him or praise him. I said give him thanks, because we talked about some shit that happened 8 years ago. Okay. So yeah, let me move on to my next point. Oh, Rick Reed, I'm happy you in here. I'm so happy you in here. Hopefully Rick Reed is still up in here. Rick, I got you up in my notes. And I want to know if my gauge of the circumstance, if it's accurate. I guess it had to be earlier this week. I was over there at Binary Codes. I was listening up in his bushes at Binary Codes, and Binary Code was basically doing commentary about Lemon's relationship with Sour Patch. Binary Code said that he felt like Sour Patch had something. Hold on, let me calm down. So Code said that he believes that Sour Patch is holding something over Lemon's head, because Lemon allows Sour Patch to pretty much do and say whatever she wants in the Discord, off the Discord, on the panel. She could say whatever she want. She could snap out on whoever she want. And Code was saying Lemon is quick to snap on all the other moderators and all the other women, all the other Lemonettes. But when it comes to Sour Patch, he is always hesitant to snap at Sour Patch. That's what he said. Code was saying that he thought that it was something deep, like maybe some type of like secret that they got with each other or something like that. Now, when I listened to that part of Code's commentary, I disagreed. So I ended up clicking Code's link, and I was asking, I told Code that I heard that part. Now, Lemon was up on the panel and up on the link as well. I told Code, and this is my opinion and my observation, I told Code that I don't believe that Sour Patch has anything hanging over Lemon's head. I said, but I do believe that he does treat Sour Patch differently than he treats the other Lemonettes and the other moderators, simply because Sour Patch is a link and a connection to you, Rick Reed. To you. I said, based on what I've observed, I don't believe that Lemon would just go at Sour Patch and call her all types of bitches and hoes and cuss her out like what he do them other women, because he understands that both of y'all share her as a moderator. And I believe he also understands that if he ever got so gutter to disrespect her in the way that he's disrespected a lot of them other women over there, that you might have a problem with him disrespecting her in that way. Because I was explaining to Cole that you have a moderator, content creator relationship with Sour Patch as well. Now, the reason why I had this observation just alone is because even the one time that Rick Reed had to jump off the porch at Rodney, if my memory serves me correct, Rick Reed jumped off the porch at Rodney because Rodney was threatening bodily harm towards me on Ness's channel. And this was also after Rodney had already went after Fifi TV, and how Rodney had already went after, I think, Billie Jean. And then now he was trying to threaten to fight a woman. And that's what made Rick Reed come off the porch, because Rodney was threatening me. And I'm not Rick Reed's moderator. So I can only imagine if Lemon got out of pocket and started talking crazy at Sour Patch the way he do them other Lemonettes, and it got back to Rick Reed, there would be an issue. I said, for that reason, I feel that Lemon does give Sour Patch much leeway and preferential treatment as his moderator and as a lemonade over there, because he does not want to have any type of issue with Rick Reed. Now, let me see what Rick said. So Rick Reed said, no, I met Lemon through James. Sour Patch and Lemon got their own relationship. I met Sour Patch through Tracy. Sour Patch is originally a Pisces. Okay. Rick said, I have nothing to do with that relationship at all. And then Rick said, I don't know what they got going on or how close they are or not. She mods for a lot of people. She can handle her own. She do her own thing. And then Lemon is nice in nature. I don't think he would do all that. But Lemon and Sour Patch are friends from what I understand. Okay. Lemon said that they were friends as well. Lemon got offended by me having this observation. And he said that that was me trying to make you beef with him. Lemon was a drunk fool that morning. And he started cussing me out, saying that I'm trying to start a beef between y'all. And I'm like, I'm not starting a beef between y'all. I said, but that's my observation, that y'all share the same moderator and that he's hesitant to check Sour Patch or do her like the other ones because he is scared of men. That's my observation. But I just wanted to let you know that that discussion did happen over there up on Codes. And Lemon, he had this weird ass outrage, like I was trying to deliberately start a fight with y'all. I'm not starting a fight. I'm just stating what I think. I'm stating what I feel. And so then, of course, he cussed me out, and I had to be all types of fat bitches for having my own opinion. But he was drunk as usual, even though I feel like that's not an excuse. But he always drunk. But that was just my observation. Let me see. Michelle said, oh, she talking to Jinx. And Rick Reed's. Oh, okay. So I got Rick Reed last comment. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that to Rick's attention, because that's another thing. I ain't have time for Lemon to try to spin a narrative like I was trying to make an issue between him and Rick Reed, because no, that's not the case. Jinx said, Jinx said that theory is plausible, but to me, it's just that Lemon is messy and he knows that arguments with Sour Patch could get messy. Okay. And Rick Reed, yeah, Code, I call Code, okay, so Binary, his name is Binary Code, and so I just call him Code for short. But yeah, I'm talking about on binaries. I think this happened on binaries. I want to say this was Rick Reed. I feel like it was Tuesday morning. I feel like it was either Tuesday or Wednesday morning. I know it was yesterday. So it's Tuesday or Wednesday morning show. Good morning, Gigi. Good morning to Black Pearl. Good morning to everybody. So yeah, that's where the conversation happened. But I'll look up the video and I can let you know about it. That conversation that was had over there. But yeah, he was getting all pissed off and stuff. And I'm like, I guess he feel like people shouldn't even be able to have an opinion about you and him. But it's content. That's what Cole was talking about, the Sour Patch connection. What was the connection that Sour Patch had if Sour Patch was holding something over his head? Good morning, Patricia Alexander. Michelle said, I don't understand how his mom is feeling, and he's simple as fuck. Yeah, I don't get that either. And I'm actually happy that I am on the topic of Code, because I want to move on to my next part, because yesterday Code had something interesting happen up on his channel, y'all. Y'all. So yesterday morning on Codes, there was a whole fiasco that happened in which Solid Sunny, when I came in, Solid Sunny was up on the link. Y'all know this new little dude that I call Lil Buttweek. Lil Buttweek had been on Code's link, must have said something negative about Sunny. Lil Buttweek dropped off the link, claimed that he was about to be going to work in 10 minutes or something. And so then by that point, once Lil Buttweek dropped off the link, Sunny got on the link to speak her piece. Sonny was basically explaining to Cole that she's never had any connection or involvement with Lil Buckwheat whatsoever, but Lil Buckwheat has always had an issue with her due to her relationship with Ken Nola News. Sonny said that she never had no correspondence with him, but the man keep dragging her because when he fight with Ken, he always throwing her in the middle of their fight. Sonny felt like that's a fight between two men, so what in the hell she got to do with it, and why he keep bringing up her disability in the middle of the fight to try to make her feel some type of way, when initially she never even disrespected him, didn't even know who he was. Sonny also took issue because it seems that Lil Buckwheat has been threatening to call CPS on her because of how she disciplines her kids due to her disability. And he has been saying that he was going to call the cops on her as well and get her locked up. Sonny done got sick of him making them type of threats about her, especially with the CPS stuff, because she loved her kids, she said. So she was giving her point of view to Cole only for Lil Buckwheat to click the link. And instead of Cole just allowing Sonny to finish what she had to say, Cole let Lil Buckwheat up there. Lil Buckwheat got up there and started dragging the entire hell out of Sonny, bringing up her disability, talking about how, for her to pull up to the Bay Area so his female cousins could fight her. He even spoke about Sonny getting jumped by some females so that they could jump her while she up in her wheelchair. He was saying some weird, ridiculous mess like that, calling her all types of bees and hoes, basically saying that she wasn't a good parent. Just a whole bunch of raggedy mess that Cole allowed. Good morning, Barry Addison. Good morning, everybody coming in. Good morning, Jackson Street. So Cole allowed this. Sonny arguing back with him. They both taking jabs at each other. But the fact that Buckwheat brought up Sonny's kids and about calling CPS on Sonny, then Sonny said something about Buckwheat's sister being ugly. By that point, Cole dropped Sonny, put Sonny in the back. Cole said, don't bring up the kids. Don't say anything about kids, Sonny. I like you, but I don't understand why you brought up the kids. He finally let Sonny back up. So then Sonny and Lil Buckwheat got back to arguing again. And of course, about CPS came up about how Sonny disciplines her kids, is what Lil Buckwheat said. Cole didn't drop Lil Buckwheat. Sonny brought up the sister and said the sister was ugly. Sonny got dropped. Now, luckily, I had already been seeing how this fight was escalating and where it was going over there up on Cole's channel. So I politely hit up Ken Nola News. And I told Ken, I said, you need to get over here to Cole. I said, come on over here because Sonny is up here fighting Lil Buckwheat. I said, and it seemed like she getting dropped down because of her defending herself. All I know, y'all, is I got a message to my phone, and the only message that Ken put was, hold on. I had to type him a whole little paragraph in the text, and he gave me 2-word response, hold on. When I looked at my phone and I saw that hold on right there, I knew that he was on his way. So I politely just sat there up in the cut, watching this whole madness unfold, and I be good goddamn if Ken didn't click that link. Cole put that banner up. Ken had clicked that link, and all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. By that point, Sonny had done been banished off of the link because she had brought up the damn sister. And then Ken went back and forth with Lil Buckwheat up there for a minute. They ended up going crazy. But the thing that I noticed was that Ken was bringing up the sister. Good morning, LaDon. Ken was bringing up the sister, and Cole never dropped Ken. Now, when Sonny brought up the sister in defense of her own self, she got dropped each and every time. But Ken brought up the sister and stayed up there and argued for about a good 10 minutes. Brought up the sister, called her ugly and all types of other stuff, but it never got dropped. Let me see what Rick Reed said. I only spoke on Lemon because I was threw up in the narrative. I spoke to him. He understands. We good. Okay, good deal. So, yeah. So, they ended up going back and forth. Ken didn't end up getting dropped, but eventually both Ken and Lil Buckwheat started saying things that could have been flaggable to Rick's chant. I said Rick because I just finished reading Rick's comment. They were saying things that could have been flaggable on Code's channel. Oh, that was good. That was good, Rick Reed. Ken got in that dude ass behind Sonny. That was so good to me. But so Code ended up dropping both of them down because he was trying to protect his channel, because it started getting out to the point to where they was calling each other sissy and, you know, derogatory terms for you know, gay people and booty bandit and I think booty demon and all types of weird mess. I mean, just it was going crazy. So they both got dropped. So I clicked the link and I checked Code. Now I've heard people do commentary, want to be mad. Dory want to be mad at me checking Code. Bitch, you damn right I'm gonna check him. And what you gonna do about it? Yes, if I see that he was in the wrong for the way he handled Sonny in that situation, I have every motherfucking right to get up there and tell him how I motherfucking feel. Then I saw Rodney over there that went live yesterday, him and hollering about me checking Code, and I shouldn't be the one to check him. And then I think Intrinsic had something. All of these motherfucking Ness minions that's still up in their fees because I took their ruler, their leader up out of this motherfucker, because I swiped her to the left before she could swipe me. Now they want to be upset telling me what I can and can't have an opinion on. Telling me that because I had charges on me almost 5 years ago that I don't have a right to an opinion. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Now what y'all ain't gonna do is try to use that old ass probation that I already done been through and keep using that as a reason for me not to have a motherfucking opinion. Hell no. Hell no. Don't tell me that I can't have an opinion because of a motherfucking probation that I had 2-3 years ago. No. If I see something wrong, I'm going to get up there and say something. I don't give a damn how you motherfucking feel about it. Because at the end of the day, all of y'all still up in y'all fifis because of Ness channel. That's just it, and that's all. But so I got up there, and y'all, this is truly the reason why I got up there. Last year, when Code and the Umar boys first came over here, y'all, this was whenever they were trying to clout chase off me and many other people in the B sector, because Code and Shakim used to always do videos with my name in the title, right? Then Code eventually had his morning show where it was him, Shakim, and NBK. NBK was in the habit of trying to call me slow bus and short bus. For whatever reason, NBK, you know, he thought it was cute for him to always refer to me in that way. Only for me to check my Instagram one day and some tea had been slid my way. Verifiable tea, might I add. That Code's profession at that time, I don't know if he's still in the same profession or not, so it's not like I'm trying to dox him. But at that particular time, Code was working in the education system, and he was working with special needs teenagers. Special needs teenagers in like middle school and high school, if I'm not mistaken. And this was verifiable tea that was sent to me. So imagine me like, wait a second. I know MBK ain't being the co-host on this man's channel every damn morning. And he's up there trying to call me slow bus, short bus, window licker, and all of these derogatory terms. But meanwhile, Code actually works with these types of adolescents for his career. So once I found that out, And once I verified that that was factual information, then I had to use that information to my own advantage, and I clocked Code upside his head with it. And I said, now how in the world you got your co-host on your channel using this type of language when you know damn well that the way that you keep a roof over your head and a roof over your family's head is because you work with these types of individuals every day? I said, now how would the school system feel if they were able to tune in to this damn podcast with him over here calling me short bus, slow bus, and window licker when you have to teach and work with these kids every day? By that point, Code backed off on that and even told MBK to stop saying that type of stuff. MBK had to calm down, and eventually, y'all know MBK ended up quitting during all that. It was all that type of stuff. Now, the reason, and a good morning, Room Shaker and Sonny, the reason why I had to give y'all that backstory is because this was a conversation me and Cole had last year. So only for yesterday, for him to act like he didn't know that Sonny was a protected person because of her disability, I was shaking my damn head. And that's another reason why I clicked his link and I called him out and I said, you full of shit. Because he already know that the kids that he used to work with in the school system, the middle school and high school teenagers in special ed, they are considered protected persons because of their disability. So if you work for a living in your career with those types of kids who are protected, then why would you then get on YouTube and act like you didn't realize that Sonny, due to her disability, would be considered a protected person? That's when I felt like Cole was playing in my face. As a matter of fact, I felt like Cole was playing in everybody's face. Because he knew damn well he knew that was some bull mess. And so that's what made me get up there and call him out. So long story short, I called him out. We kind of went back and forth, and he ended up apologizing to Sonny. Now, the one thing that I can say that Cole got his flaws and stuff, but when he realized that he was wrong up in this situation, he did. He apologized to Sonny. He backtracked on what he said. He understood what was going on. He didn't get bent out of shape and get mad. And then he even allowed Sonny to come back up on his platform so that she could finish her thought and finish her thought process. The thing that really pissed me off about it, though, too, y'all, good morning, Robin Moderator, that really pissed me off about it is because it was one particular point where Sonny was up there trying to argue, and y'all, I heard her voice cracking like she was about to cry. Y'all ain't like that. Child, when I heard her voice crack, that's another reason why I was like, let me get Ken on over here. Ain't nobody got time. Because I don't give a damn what y'all damn say. I don't give a damn what y'all damn say. The fact is, it's got to be hard trying to raise children in her condition. And it's like, I have even thought this to myself. How, and I want to ask y'all, and good morning, Just Lovely. I talked about you at the beginning of the live. I got y'all segment out at the beginning, the club chat and you and everything. But I really want to ask y'all, now, if you were in Sonny's predicament, in which you were missing both legs, and you only had one working arm, and you had two small children, exactly how would you discipline them? How? And I'm waiting. I really want to know how. People drag the woman because she used her voice. Well, that's all she can use. It ain't like she could chase them around. It ain't like she could get a belt and pop them. I mean, it ain't like she could, make them do this or make them do that. She's very limited in what she could do as a disciplinary figure. Yes, I feel like she said some messed up stuff. Yes, I do. But at the end of the day, it's people that's able-bodied that don't even have their kids, and y'all praise them. Make it make sense. So the fact that now this little buckwheat stupid self is threatening to call CPS on her, because why? Because then if she don't do nothing about her kids to try to discipline them, and then they turn out to be hoodlums or some hood rats from hell, then y'all gonna have a problem with her about her lack of parenting. Then y'all gonna have an issue with her and say, well, she should have did this, she should have did that. Look at what she raised into society. Well, in my opinion, the only thing that she could do is fuss and cuss. I'm sure she probably had somebody designated up in her life that's a disciplinary figure that may be the one that have to get them a spanking, or maybe even be stern with them and make them sit in timeout or whatnot. I'm sure. I was even looking, y'all, about the parenting part, and this is still somewhat about Sunny, but it's kind of off Sunny. Y'all, even here on YouTube, I ended up, and this was like months ago, I ended up coming across this family on YouTube in which the entire family were little people. The entire family, except for one child. The mama, the daddy had a son and a daughter. All four were little people. And some kind of way, the mom and the daddy had another son, and that son ended up being a regular sized person. So because that the second son was a regular sized person, he ended up growing to be average height, just like average people. And I think right now he like close to 6 feet. He close to like 6 feet tall. While everybody else in the family are little people. Now, the reason why I bring up that example is because I watch their YouTube channel. They gotta have about 2 or 3 million subscribers over there. They like a big time YouTube family. But one of the videos that stands out to me is the mama speaking about how hard it was for her to discipline that particular son, because that particular son was average height. That particular son was not a little person. So imagine her being a little person, barely being tall enough to reach her son's kneecaps, and she trying to discipline him. Even the son talked about some things that he regretted that he used to do as a child deliberately, because he knew he could because of his mama's disability. And he said when he was younger and she would try to put him on punishment and take his tablet away, do y'all know that he said that he would take that tablet, hold it above his head so that she couldn't get it, and then he would sometimes take that tablet and go and hide it on the top shelf of like somewhere up in their house where there was a cabinet or something that he know dang well she couldn't reach. So she didn't even have the means to be able to take his tablet away to discipline him. And there was nothing that she could do about it. Because she was a little person as a mother, the son was able to rip and run all over his mom and daddy because he was bigger than them. He bigger than them. He hiding his stuff so they can't even take it away from him. Then as soon as the parents go to sleep, then he go get his stuff out the hiding place, and he be playing his damn tablet, playing his damn video game, playing whatever he want to play. No punishment, no discipline at all because of the disability of his mama. I say all that to say that was an interesting. What's good, Fine Low? That was an interesting exchange to see, because it made me feel empathy. Because I'm like, if you are a little person and you happen to have an average size son, and he end up growing just like boys do, and now you really can't whoop him because you too small to. You know, you ain't gonna be able to do much of anything. And then now you telling me that this little boy had got so smart to where he'll go and hide all the stuff that he like to play with at the top of the refrigerator and stuff like that. Olivia, I'm dead ass serious. He was gonna hide all the stuff that he liked to play with at the top of the refrigerator, at the top shelf up in the kitchen cabinet and stuff. So the mama can't even get it. So she can't even hide it from him and take it away from him. Y'all, it gotta be hard being a parent with a disability. Now, I know that me telling y'all this story was somewhat funny because it really was. When the dude was describing the shit that he used to do to get out of punishments with his mom and his daddy, y'all, it had me hollering myself. But then I started feeling bad for the mama because I'm like, dang, that got to be hard. Thank the Lord, he ended up outgrowing that rebellious stage, and now he is a pretty famous social media influencer and YouTuber, in which most of his videos have gone viral because he talks about these things that he used to do to his parents. He used to do this to his parents and his siblings because he was the only average sized person and everybody else was little people. So yeah, I say all that to say, y'all, parenting with a disability is hard. I don't have to be a parent and I don't have to have a disability, but I've seen different things like the case of this story of these YouTubers that I just told y'all about and the stuff that they do story times about. Like this dude be pranking his mama and every damn thing. He got the upper hand where he could prank his mama and he prank his mama and post the videos and they done went viral. They got a huge following over there. But so, with all that being said, I don't think that there should be threats to be trying to call CPS up on Sunday just because she was yelling at her kids. You know how many people actually physically abuse their kids? But now they ready to put CPS up in that woman's life because she done yelled at her kids. All I guess. Michelle said, and this is why one of our CCs slapped their child up on the refrigerator. Yeah, well, I did. I remember when that happened too. Thing is, though, that content creator was able-bodied. Not no disability in sight. But that was the type of parenting that was happening with that situation. So, yeah, either way, I felt like Cole mistreated Sonny, but he did make it right, y'all, because he apologized for it. He showed a sense of understanding and awareness about what was wrong and what he did wrong. And then he allowed her to come up and be able to have her say uninterrupted. And he refused to let Lil Buckwheat. Oh, you was being funny. Okay. But then he refused to let Lil Buckwheat get up there to interrupt her. And he wouldn't let Ken get up there to interrupt. He kind of just let Sonny have the floor, which is good. So I'm happy that he learned from that. All right. So now we got Fett. So, y'all, just to mention, Intrinsic returned on her channel last night, y'all. I thought she was coming to do some dragging about the fact that Ness lost her channel, but instead she deflected. She didn't drag anything. Good morning, Jessica B. Good morning, Fifi's World. Yeah, Pete, that's his name. Thank you, Jessica B. This the dude that's average size, and his whole family is little people. His mom is a little person, his dad is a little person, and his brother and sister are little people. And he is the only person that's average height. If y'all are interested in taking a look at that YouTube channel, Jessica B found them. Thank you, Jessica B. His name is Pete Montego. Him. Oh, and she said he's also the only red-headed child. Okay, so that's who it is. So if y'all want to go over there and look at them prank videos about what he be doing with his mama, cause she a little person and he not. And if you want to hear the story times that he talk about where he used to get away with murder as a child because He was average height, but his mama was a little person. That's the channel that y'all need to go to if y'all interested. Okay. But so Intrinsic did return. Like I said, this is just going to be a gloss over. She returned. I thought that she was going to be trying to drag about the fact that Ness lost the channel, but instead she glimpsed over that and decided to drag Code. She said that Code is clout chasing Ness, and Code need to stop clit riding Ness. She basically kept calling Code a derogatory term, but she used slang for it. Specifically, she kept calling him a Jap nigga. And let me actually type it, because at first I kept hearing her say that, and I was like, what in the hell? Yes, Pete. That's his name, Pete. Thank you, D Boogie. Yes, that's his name. Y'all see, I just tried to type that up in here, and it said YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it up a bit. So, y'all, YouTube won't even let me type that up in there. But he kept calling her. She kept calling him a cross between Japanese and the N word. So a Jap in is what she was calling him. But anyway, she dragged him. She was saying that him doing commentary about Ness is borderline harassment. They're going to do something about him. She belittled him because I went up there and checked him yesterday. She said that it was the right message, wrong messenger. She basically said that, like I checked him up on his own panel. She got an issue with him. So she came back to drag him to fight him. Code, you can do what you want to do, but I probably would just ignore. Yes, Kay Kajor. That's what she kept doing. Yes. And Jinx is saying, you think he in the wrong sector. I get annoyed with all the bragging he does. Yeah, Jinx. Yeah. I don't care for him too much. But okay, so that happened where Intrinsic, yeah, she had to put her 2 cents in. She was actually mad because of all the people that kept asking where was Intrinsic and Brooke during this whole fiasco with Ness having to fight the Mo3 sector ladies by herself. And instead of Intrinsic saying, well, Intrinsic said that there was a death in the family or something about a death of somebody close to her or one of her childhood friends or something. And so she was consumed with doing that. And she said that's why she ain't been around. She also said that she probably about to go get that second BBL in June. She didn't say BBL, but she almost said it. She been talking about that for God knows how long, and I think she said it's gonna be the middle of June or the end of June. She got to go get that, so she gonna be missing in action again. So she gave her 2 cents about that. Please like my video if y'all haven't. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about Ness's channel real quick. Now that we are on the terms of Ness's channel, that's going to go into my next commentary about Ness versus Lemon. With Ness versus Lemon, it seems that Lemon must have went on Ness's channel, her backup channel, the other night. I want to say that was Wednesday night. And Lemon showed up drunk. He showed up there trying to pick a fight with Ness and pick a fight with Uppity. He showed up there slurring and used inflaggable words that could get Ness swiped to the left on her backup channel, even though she's not supposed to be using that backup channel currently to begin with. Because of this, Ness argued back and forth with him and kept threatening to take him off the panel. Then Lemon got mad at Ness about trying to threaten to take him off the panel. Long story short, I think she ended up making him leave off her panel. And she said that she felt like he was a snake trying to set her up, set her channel up. Now, the problem with this, y'all, is that I'm not shocked that he might be trying to set her up. Because remember, it was because of Ness and her own actions on his channel that caused me and him to clash about his channel to begin with. Ness was up there drunk, talking crazy up on his channel that night, talking underneath my clothes and things like that. Kept talking underneath my clothes on and on and on and on and on, and he couldn't get no control over it, to the point to where I ended up having to get up there and show him exactly what Ness kept mentioning, and then he had to get rid of the entire video. Then by that point, he was upset with me. Then he had Octavius flag me, and then I had to flag him back. So if Ness think for a second that Lemon ain't forgot that Ness's behavior on his platform caused harm to his platform, and that he probably going to get some get back on her platform about what happened with his platform, she crazy. So he came up there talking all types of crazy. Now Ness said that she's surrounded by snakes and she need to get away from the snakes, and that Lemon and Uppity might be snakes, that her inner circle told her to get rid of some of these people because they trying to harm her channel. Now, speaking of Ness's channel, because there was still conversation here about her channel, so let me go ahead and go here. I did do this research for y'all as well this morning. People have been speculating on if Ness had actually lost the channel or if she deleted the channel, all of that. So I went on ahead and did my research here to see. I believe that the channel is gone. I don't believe that she hid it. I believe that it's really gone. And also I wanted to bring this up here so I could explain to you guys the account suspension and termination rules. Because right now it seems that Ness is currently active on a channel that is against the YouTube guidelines. The fact that she is using that backup channel after they already terminated her main channel is against the guidelines, guys. And I wanted to make sure that I brought the rules up here for y'all so that y'all could see with y'all own eyes, so that y'all could see for yourselves. So now, we got account suspensions and terminations, and then it says terminations by you, in which you could terminate your own channel. We know she didn't do that. Then there is terminations and suspensions by YouTube. And it does say YouTube reserves the right to suspend or terminate your Google account or your access to all or part of the service if A, you materially or repeatedly breach this agreement, B, we are required to do so to comply with the legal requirement or a court order, or C, we reasonably believe that there has been conduct that creates or could create liability or harm to any user of the third party, YouTube, or our affiliates. Now, the key thing that I want y'all to hear here is letter C, we reasonably believe, let me highlight it. We reasonably believe that there has been conduct that creates or could create liability or harm to any user or the third party, YouTube, or our affiliates. Now, remember, I already told y'all that Ness had a nerve to allow Dimples to be trying to dox my homeowners association and her members only. Now, if you know, I did tell y'all that I reported all that to YouTube, plus I had the clip where I kept a receipt of it as well. Just that right there alone would fall underneath this category, because that conduct creates or could create liability or harm to other third party, which would be those innocent people within my homeowners association, the innocent bystanders within my homeowners association. Good morning, storylines. So just me reporting to them what that's what they was doing in that membership, me putting it in my details when I had to go in to report it to them and get that video taken down. That right there, I believe, is one of the main reasons why her main channel got terminated. And it's crazy because the other night she had Dimples up there again, still trying to talk fresh on her illegal second channel, as if her losing the first channel wasn't bad enough. But again, she could let Dimples keep being up there up on her platform with that bullshit. She gonna fuck around and find out. Because again, I'm putting it here as plain as day, black and white. black and then white. But anyway, it does say notice for termination or suspension. The effect of account. Okay, this is the part that I wanted y'all to see. Effect of account suspension or termination. If your Google account is terminated or your access to the service is restricted, you may continue using certain aspects of service, such as viewing only. Without an account. Make sure y'all see this. If your Google account is terminated or your access to the service is restricted, you may continue using certain aspects of the service, such as viewing only, without an account. And this agreement will continue to apply to such use. So at this particular point, the only thing that Ness should be doing on here is viewing. She should not be creating another account in order to try to get that account monetized. She should not have that Vanessa's Trap House second account trying to make money any longer, making content. No, she should only be using this without an account for viewing only. I want to make sure that y'all understand what y'all are seeing and what I'm reading to y'all. So any of y'all that's silly enough to spend y'all money or waste y'all money again on that other channel, that is not even a legit channel. That channel in itself should not even be a thing currently. I just don't want y'all to end up getting got, because then y'all going to put into all this money into over there, and it might wind up with the same effect, because again, there are terms and guidelines for a reason. So I did want to say that. Also, I wanted to show y'all as well, just for y'all to see. Let me do copy here. Get back here to the terms and services here. And actually, now that I done read this to you, I'm gonna minimize this screen. Let's see. Okay, we at 100%. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so now that we here at the 100%, I am going to take this hyperlink. I have just copied a hyperlink that I had been I had just copied a hyperlink that I had actually been holding on to, that I want y'all to be able to see. Okay, this is a hyperlink that was actually in one of the emails that I got when Ness was trying to strike my channel down. When Ness was trying to strike my channel, this hyperlink was in the email. So all I did was take this email, copy this hyperlink and paste it here up in the browser. And as y'all can see, it says this video has been removed for violating YouTube's terms and services, which means that the video as well as the channel was removed for violation of the terms and services. Hopefully you got it. The reason why I want to show y'all this is because this is the proof that I see when I click on any of the hyperlinks or the videos that she tried to flag my channel down from. When I use those, this is what I get. This does not say that it was suspended. It says that it was removed on my part. So this is another reason why I believe the entire channel is gone. The entire channel is no more. So now, let me go ahead and go to my final thing, and then I will let you guys go. So now, the last thing that I want to show y'all that I don't think most people are aware of, and I'm just really going to give y'all a heads up because YouTube has been changing stuff so much. Let me share this tab. Now, this tab right here that you see, most people are not aware, but Beef Sector, y'all better start reading the emails. Y'all better start familiarizing yourself with YouTube. Y'all better start familiarizing yourself with everything. Because now with the Beef Sector, I guess most of y'all don't know, But YouTube now has YouTube's contest policies and guidelines. Did y'all know that? I'm sure y'all didn't. Didn't they say the best way to hide something from a black person is to put it in a book? Didn't they say that the best way to hide something from a black person or to hide something from a YouTube content creator is to put it up in the email or put it up in the website? So now, Catherine Powell, if your bald-headed self is in here, Catherine Powell, the fact that you always bringing me up over there up on Jay Wilson's talking about premeditated, bitch, shut up. Ain't no premeditation at all. I have every right on YouTube to give somebody a fair warning about any type of content that may go against the guidelines. I have every right to give a fair warning before I actually take action with anything. Just like right now, I'm showing this contest policies and guidelines, and I'm able to do that. And it don't mean no premeditated nothing. It just means that you better make sure that you following. You better make sure, and anybody, well, not anybody, Lemon better make sure that he is following YouTube's contest policies and guidelines. That's what that's here for. And if he's not following YouTube's contest policies and guidelines, then he can be got. And no, that ain't premeditation. That's just the facts of the matter. Because again, maybe people need to start reading on this motherfucker. They need to start reading and checking the emails and seeing what's going on before they start doing all this stuff. Now let's scroll down and look at these things. All these people that's doing these competitions and contests and stuff. Lemon already trying to create another contest or competition before he finally even got this first one done. But I'm just going to scroll through this real quick. All contests run on YouTube or that use YouTube are subject to the rules below. In addition, your contest cannot be run or conducted in a way that conflicts with our privacy policies. The content also cannot conflict with YouTube's terms of services or community guidelines. YouTube does not allow contests to be run through ad units. If the contest conforms with the rules below, you can use contests through your content on the platform. There are general restrictions and requirements here. It does depend and have to comply with the federal, state, and local laws and rules and regulations, including U.S. sanctions, y'all. You can't infringe upon other people's third-party rights or participate in any unlawful activity. And speaking of any unlawful activity, did y'all catch Lemon's live last night? And I actually have the timestamp. I have the timestamp. Lemon's live last night, y'all. If y'all actually go to the 3 hour, 57 minute, and 35 second mark, y'all write this down or type it down. 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 35 second mark of Lemon's live from last night. Let me put this right here. I'm putting this timestamp for y'all, and I'm about to actually put it up here just so that y'all can see. Because with this speaking about any unlawful activity last night on Lemon's live, y'all, he did participate in unlawful activity. You can see and witness Lemon at this timestamp engaging in an illegal marijuana transaction on his live, in which he turned his camera on, pointed the camera at the hand of the dude named Eli, one of his neighbors. Eli, in the palm of Eli's hand was a few bulbs of marijuana, just open bulbs of marijuana. And he essentially panned the camera to the bulbs of marijuana to ask his audience and ask the panel if that amount of marijuana was worth $10. So then the panel was debating on if that was worth $10, if it's not worth $10, if Lemon should pay the $10, if limit should not pay the $10. Long story short, he had the camera on and allowed us to witness him purchasing street marijuana. Now, according to these rules that I have, y'all, and this is the timestamp again from his video from last night. Now, as y'all can see with these rules here about the competition, it says that YouTube does not want the participation in any unlawful activity. I believe that activity that we witnessed last night on Lemon's Live was unlawful. I don't know why he thought that was a bright idea for him to show that type of thing up on his StreamYard during his live, especially because of the climate that we are currently in when it comes to the flagging wars, the striking wars, and all this kind of stuff. But that's what he wanted to show. But either way, I'm just going to scroll through here so that y'all can just see the rest of this. So y'all could just see the rest of this, because there are official contest rules. There are community guidelines, terms of services about these contests. All of this has to be met in order for you to be able to have a contest that's legitimate on YouTube. Now, I say all this to say, back to bald-headed Catherine. Back to bald-headed Catherine. Bald-headed Catherine, the fact is, you have to obey the guidelines. You have to obey the rules. Please like my video if y'all haven't. You just have to obey these things. And there is nothing against the guidelines for somebody to give somebody a warning or even give somebody a notation that, hey, this is what's going to happen if you do this. There is no premeditation when it comes to the community guidelines of YouTube. I don't know why you are such an idiotic older lady to where you really believe that premeditation actually counts when it comes to the rules and guidelines that YouTube has laid forth. You spoke on Jay Wilson's as if you were speaking in a court of law, or you spoke as if you were trying to speak as if you were an attorney about what can and cannot be done, who can say what and who cannot say premeditation this and premeditation that. Please stop. The way you were speaking is almost as if somebody is actually committing a crime. There is no crime being committed by addressing a concern if you feel like there is something out of order when it comes to the YouTube community guidelines and when it comes to the YouTube copyright infringement information here. There is nothing illegal. There is nothing out of line about it whatsoever. It's called holding people accountable. And Catherine, I know that you used to be a Lemonette over there too, licking out of Lemon's ass until he embarrassed you one too many times by cussing you out. I'm aware. Now that he done embarrassed you one too many times by cussing you out, now you done kind of turned against him, but you stay over there at Jay Wilson's bringing my name up any chance that you get. But I also noticed, though, that even though you brought my name up, you was actually scared to mention my name. Instead of you just calling my name, just to call my name, you skated around saying my name verbatim because you didn't want to be called out, I guess. So you did this whole him and high guessing game with Jay Wilson, making his entire panel try to take guesses at who you were referencing because you were scared to say the name J.Dunn. I don't even understand why you want to bring my name up over there up on that man channel anyway, because the topic wasn't even about me. And again, what I do on my computer, on my Wi-Fi that I pay for, on this computer that I bought myself and purchased myself, what I decide to report as something being against the community guidelines, I have every right to make a report. I have every right to make a report. As long as the report is valid, I can make that report. So please understand that the fact that you were trying to interfere and try to lie, good morning, Donna Hughes, the fact that you were trying to lie over there to Jay Wilson, I'm talking about a premeditation this and a premeditation that, it goes to show that you try to fit in over there so much and try to feel smart so much that you would bring up something that's just completely bogus. Good morning, Toby Turner. Not George Jefferson. You would bring up something that was so completely bogus to the point to where I just have to come here and call you out. For whatever reason, you always got an issue about what I say and what I do, and that's your own personal problem. That's your problem. But don't run from platform to platform trying to spread a lie, spread a narrative, because right here and right now, I just showed you these community guidelines. And I just showed you proof that there are community guidelines in relation to running a contest and or a competition on the YouTube platform and the YouTube servers. I'm sure that most people up in this sector never even know that those existed. They didn't even know that there was a page of stuff about that. So everybody could thank me for that. They can make sure that they take the time to read through it and make sure that they are in proper compliance with everything that's listed on that page that I just showed everyone. So that way, people that are doing these competitions and contests and raising this money and raising this pot, make sure that it's legal. Make sure that that is actually legal, Catherine. Because me telling somebody that I will flag them or I will strike them if they do X, Y, Z, there is nothing against the YouTube guidelines about me saying that. That's me giving a person fair warning. And actually, YouTube encourages us to communicate or negotiate with other people when it comes to content or when it comes to any type of flaggable offenses. Case in point, when you put in a copyright strike against somebody, YouTube will actually ask you if you have already asked that person to remove your content first. You can say, yes, I've asked them to remove the content, or no, I have not asked them to remove the content. If you've already asked them to remove the content, you click yes, and then you move on through the form, in which then you can go ahead and strike their ass because you already asked them. YouTube actually encourages you to let people know what you are going to do before you do it. This is the reason why I do it, Catherine, because I read my emails. I actually read the website. I read the community guidelines. So you talking about a premeditation? No, ma'am. I'm following what I'm supposed to follow. If anybody put my picture or anything like that, YouTube will ask me, well, have you asked them to take it down? Have you asked them not to do this? Have you asked them not to do that? If I've already asked them, then I'm well within my right to go ahead and get their ass. So just like I was over there telling Lemon, well, if you do this, I am going to do that. There was nothing against the guidelines about that. Maybe you should actually read some of the emails and read some of the YouTube website guidelines so that you can actually know what you're talking about when you try to say something about me. What's good, Dre Day? Good morning. Before you say something about me, you actually need to take the time to read, because you sounded silly as hell talking about some premeditation when I'm following everything properly, Catherine. Now, for going here on out, I would suggest that you not even bring me up. I don't bring you up with your bald-headed self. I don't bring you up. So don't bring me up. Thank you. Y'all ended up going here longer than I anticipated, but I think it was because my first segment of the show about the club chat stuff ended up going a little bit longer than I thought. And in order for me to make sure that I fit in every single one of my bullet points, y'all, I really had to go through that part. My last bullet point, my very last one, is in relation to dragons and lemon. They don't fell out in a big way. Yesterday, I heard Lemon complaining, saying that after all the stuff that he's done for Dragons, after how much he's helped her, after him helping her get a cell phone, him sending her money so she could get cigarettes, him sending her money so that she could get a beer, a Lamarita, he was talking about how disrespectful that she has been towards him after he's done so much to help her. And when I heard him say all that, I said, bravo, Dragons. I said, bravo. Job well done. I said, because the way Lemon is feeling now, it's just him getting a dose of his own medicine. Because after all of the kind things that I did to Lemon, after all of the cash apps that I sent him when he didn't know if he was going to have any money to go to the Vegas trip, and at that time he was not a monetized channel, so he needed as much help as he could get. The amount of donations that I gave him when he used to be over there on Sir King's, and he used to be the co-host, and nobody really gave him anything, so I would send him a little $50 to his cash app because he over there being a co-host with Sir King. The amount of times that I spent hours and hours on end trying to talk this illiterate, you know what, into how to be able to go through his computer, step by step so that he could try to monetize his channel, monetize this video. The amount of times that I stayed on the phone or through the messages in the call with him so that I could tell him how to set up his Google AdSense so that he could actually get his stuff direct deposited directly into his account. The amount of times and hours that I spent trying to help his ass, only for him to be so disrespectful, is like a slap in the face. Now, if I do say so myself, dragons essentially, what's good? What's good, Pizarro? And good morning, Klondike. Good morning, Pizarro. Good morning, 300. Dragons has essentially done to Lemon what Lemon has done to me and several other people. Now he don't like it because he feels unappreciated by dragons because he claims dragons has disrespected him. No matter how much he has tried to help her with her situation in her life, he feels disrespected. And honestly, I feel the same way in regards to Lemon. No matter how much I tried to help him, whether it was with his channel, whether it was with the StreamYard, whether it was answering questions for him or setting up his monetization, whatever the case may be, even with his Halloween competition, all of that, he was ungrateful. I don't know if we could call it karma, but I'm gonna call it something. Please like my video if y'all haven't. I don't know if it's karma, but it's definitely something. I just feel like right now. Good morning, Kimberly Black. Right now, I believe this is what goes around comes around, and now Lemon is feeling the exact same thing that others have felt about him. Dragons is just making him see it for himself. But either way, y'all, I have run a little bit longer than what I intended today. So I'm going to go ahead and play my outro and rush on up out of here. I did set up the redirect, y'all. It'll be going to YouTube cameras because I think she was the only person that I saw that was back there that was showing up for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get y'all over to her. Thank y'all so much. Please like the video. Good morning, Tuddy. Please like the video if you haven't, y'all. Thank y'all again. If you got here late, please red bottle, catch the replay. Tuddy, I did speak about y'all in club chat and everything at the beginning of this live, so definitely catch the replay if you just get in here. Y'all take care, be blessed, don't stress, and I'll holler at y'all later. Bye.